Welcome, my name is Trevor Lomax. I'm a registered dietitian who specializes in sports performance and weight management. On this channel, I break down nutrition science so that you can take confident control of your health. Today, we're talking about 2 weight loss tactics that you can use to maintain more muscle mass and your hormonal balance and metabolic function as you lose weight. The first one we'll talk about is called refeeding, not to be confused with refeeding syndrome. So what is refeeding? Refeeding is temporarily eating at maintenance calories or overfeeding calories for a short period of time after you've already been dieting. Right now, the research has shown that refeeds should be at least 2 days because 1 day is not sufficient to see the metabolic changes and hormonal balances that we're looking for with this technique. So what a refeed would look like for you is after you've been dieting for a certain amount of weeks, is picking 2 or maybe 3 days back to back where you are going to eat at either maintenance calories or just slightly above maintenance calories. Typically, when you refeed, you're going to bring your carbohydrate requirements up quite a bit, and you may even bring protein down from the levels that it is while you're dieting. So during this period, you should aim for about 1.6 to 2.0 grams per kilogram of protein. Your fat intake will either stay the same or maybe even decrease a bit just because of the lowered protein. And then your carbohydrates should account for that return to maintenance or slight overfeeding of calories. The frequency at which you take one of these refeeds is really going to be dependent on how aggressive your dieting has been. If you remember back to the weight loss series, healthy weight loss is between 0.5 to 2.0 pounds per week, or you can also think about it as about 1% of body weight per week. If you're on the more aggressive side of those equations, like 1.5 to 2.0 pounds per week, then you may want to take refeeds a little bit more often. In my coaching experience, the most frequent I've ever recommended refeeds have been about every 3 or 4 weeks, but refeeds can be taken more often if they are needed. The important thing to remember about refeeds is that refeeds are not binge days, they're not cheat days, and if you begin to implement refeeds and they start to go this way, then I would really think about whether you should be dieting in the first place or not. Refeeds are controlled and planned. They have a set amount of macronutrient distribution that you should aim for, and they shouldn't be just about eating everything in sight because you're a little bit more free that day. Now, to balance that, these days may incorporate more quote-unquote fun foods, things like pizza or burgers or whatever, just because you have a greater range of macronutrients to work with. And I do encourage you to fit these foods in on these days. The second concept that we're going to talk about today is very similar to a refeed, but a little bit different. And these are called diet breaks. Diet breaks are very similar to refeeds in the regard that you are eating at maintenance calories in order to regain some of that metabolic function and balance those hormones. The only difference being that diet breaks are typically longer and will last more like 1 to 2 weeks. And honestly, they can last even longer if that makes sense for your situation. Diet breaks are literally what the name says. It's a break from dieting for your metabolic function, your hormonal balance to restore itself, as well as for your sanity. Diet breaks provide a greater mental relief than refeeds do, and they may really help you adhere to a long-term plan. Diet breaks may extend the length of your dieting phase or how long it takes for you to hit your goal weight, but if the point is to lose weight and keep it off, diet breaks are huge when it comes to adherence as well as helping you maintain lean muscle mass through the dieting phase. Another thing that's been looked at in the research is that this diet phase may also provide almost practice for hitting your maintenance calories. So that way, after you've lost weight and hit your goal weight, then you already have this understanding of what it looks like and feels like to eat at maintenance when you've achieved your goal. Both refeeds and diet breaks are pretty new in the literature compared to the amount of time that they've been utilized by contest prep coaches. But so far, the results are pretty promising. More studies in the future will be helpful in determining additional places where a refeed or a diet break may be useful, and also really defining that line of what diet breaks and refeeds do versus what they don't do. Incorporating refeeds and diet breaks into your weight loss journey is another great tool to put into your toolkit. If you found this video helpful in understanding refeeds and diet breaks, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get my next video as soon as it comes out. In the next video, we're gonna talk about another nutrition concept that's gonna help you take confident control in your health. Stay tuned.